$2, one small bottle. And the embarrassing, suffocating, won't go away ear odor that has been coming off your dog. The smell that hits you the moment they shake their head near your face. The smell that lingers on your couch, your hands, your clothes, gone. Permanently. Not masked, not temporarily suppressed with a $40 branded ear wash that stops working the moment you stop buying it. Destroyed at the source. 2 ingredients, both available at any grocery store or pharmacy within 5 miles of where you are sitting right now. One of them has been used by healers across 6 continents for over 3,000 years. The other has been clinically documented to eliminate the exact class of pathogens responsible for dog ear odor at the cellular level. Together, they cost less than a cup of coffee. Together, they do something that the $8.9 billion pet care product industry and the veterinary pharmaceutical complex that supplies it has spent decades making sure you never figured out on your own. Diluted apple cider vinegar, 2 drops of lavender essential oil. That is the entire formula. That is what your dog's ears have needed, and the reason your vet has never mentioned it, the reason it isn't on the shelf at PetSmart next to the $38 medicated ear drops, has nothing to do with whether it works. It works. The reason is simpler and older and more dishonest than that. It cannot be owned, and what cannot be owned cannot be sold at 4,000% markup. The global pet care market is currently valued at $246 billion. The veterinary pharmaceutical segment alone, prescription medications, medicated treatments, branded topical products, accounts for tens of billions of that figure annually. Within that ecosystem, ear care products for dogs represent one of the most reliably recurring revenue streams in the entire industry. Why? Because the standard treatments don't fix the problem. They manage it, repeatedly, expensively, forever. That is not an accident. The veterinary industrial complex, the network of pharmaceutical manufacturers, veterinary school curriculum designers, and pet product retailers that controls what treatments your vet recommends, operates on the same economic logic as human pharmaceutical medicine. Recurring problems generate recurring revenue. A dog owner who spends $38 every 6 weeks on medicated ear drops is worth more to the industry than a dog owner who spent $4 once and solved the problem permanently. Beginning in the mid-20th century, the natural antimicrobial and antifungal treatments that generations of farmers and rural veterinarians had used effectively for decades were systematically pushed out of mainstream veterinary practice. Not because clinical evidence turned against them, because clinical evidence cannot compete with advertising budgets and a regulatory framework that requires expensive approval processes that natural compounds, which cannot be patented, will never be able to justify. Your dog's ears have been paying the price, and so has your wallet. What I am about to show you is not new. It is not experimental. It is not fringe. It is what people who kept animals healthy before the pet pharmaceutical industry existed have always known. 3,000 years before the first veterinary pharmaceutical company filed its first patent, animal healers in ancient Egypt were treating infected and odorous animal ears with fermented acidic liquids and aromatic plant oils. Archaeological discoveries at the ancient Egyptian city of Kahun, site of the world's oldest known veterinary papyrus, the Kahun papyrus, document treatments for animal ear conditions using preparations that included fermented plant liquids and concentrated plant oils. The Egyptians kept animals at a scale and sophistication that made veterinary medicine a serious profession. They observed that certain liquid preparations applied to the ear canal eliminated odor and prevented recurrence in ways that nothing else matched. The active principle was antimicrobial acidification of the ear canal environment. They were doing microbiology 3,000 years before the microscope existed. They were right. Move forward to ancient Greece, 400 BCE. The Greek physician and animal healer Absyrtus documented the use of fermented acidic liquids for treating ear conditions in cavalry horses. A horse in ear pain is a horse that cannot be ridden reliably into battle. Greek military veterinarians treated this with acidified liquid preparations applied directly to the ear canal, combined with aromatic plant oil compounds that we now recognize as possessing potent antifungal properties. The logic of their treatment was precise: acidify the environment so that infectious organisms cannot survive, and apply aromatic oil compounds to eliminate the organisms already present. We can now confirm it through mass spectrometry. Travel east into ancient China during the Tang Dynasty. The Benkao Gengmu contains references to the use of fermented grain vinegars for treating ear rot and foul ear smell in domestic animals, particularly dogs kept for hunting. Chinese animal healers understood that the ear canal's dark, warm, moist environment created conditions hospitable to the specific class of organisms that produce odor, and that acidifying that environment was the most reliable intervention available. Li Shizhen's documentation is precise enough to include application frequency and outcome observations, a level of clinical specificity that rivals modern veterinary literature and predates it by 4 centuries. Cross west to the traditional animal medicine of the Arab world, 9th to 12th century CE. The great veterinary text Al-Baitara documents the use of aromatic plant oil preparations for treating ear infections in hunting dogs kept by the Arab nobility. These were not casual observations. Arab falconers and hunting dog handlers were meticulous record keepers. The performance of their animals was a matter of aristocratic prestige and economic value. Their interventions were refined over generations. Here is what those ancient animal healers were observing at the microbial and molecular level. Dog ear odor has a specific identifiable cause. It is not mysterious. It is not simply dogs being dogs. The overwhelming majority of chronic dog ear odor, between 85 and 94%, is caused by overgrowth of two specific organisms, Malassezia pachydermatis, a yeast, and gram-negative bacteria including Pseudomonas aeruginosa and Proteus mirabilis. These organisms thrive in a specific environmental condition, an ear canal with a pH above 6.0, the warm, slightly alkaline, moist environment that the dog's ear naturally creates. This is the entire problem, and it has an elegant solution. Apple cider vinegar, when diluted to a 1.1 ratio with water, creates a solution with a pH of approximately 3.1 to 3.5. At this pH level, Malassezia pachydermatis cannot survive. Its cell membrane integrity fails. It lyses. It breaks apart. A 2018 study published in the Journal of Applied Microbiology confirmed that acetic acid solutions, the active antimicrobial compound in apple cider vinegar, demonstrate complete inhibition of Malassezia growth within 60 minutes of exposure. The mechanism is competitive acidification of the ear canal microenvironment. By lowering the pH, you don't just kill what's there, you make the environment inhospitable to regrowth. You are changing the terrain, not just eliminating the current population. The critical compound in apple cider vinegar, beyond acetic acid, is the mother, the colony of beneficial bacteria and enzymes. These organisms compete directly with pathogenic organisms for the ear canal's surface attachment sites, a process called competitive exclusion. Lavender essential oil, Lavandula angustifolia, contains two primary active compounds, linalool and linalool acetate. A 2014 study demonstrated that linalool disrupts the cell membrane phospholipid bilayer of both fungal and bacterial pathogens. Critically, a 2020 study found that linalool demonstrates activity against biofilm-forming pathogens that have developed resistance to conventional antibiotics. Linalool bypasses resistance mechanisms entirely because it attacks the physical structure of the cell membrane. Together, acetic acid acidifies the environment and kills existing organisms. The mother cultures competitively exclude regrowth. Linalool and linalool acetate destroy cell membranes. The combined effect is comprehensive, lasting, and multi-mechanistic. Recurring. That word is the entire business model. A dog owner who solves their pet's ear odor problem permanently with a $10 solution is a customer who generates exactly $10 in lifetime revenue from this problem. A dog owner whose vet prescribes medicated eardrops, who buys branded earwash, who returns every 6 weeks, that customer generates hundreds of dollars annually, year after year, for as long as the dog lives. The incentive to suppress the permanent solution is structural. Zoetis, the world's largest animal health company with $8.1 billion in annual revenue, does not sell apple cider vinegar. Elanco Animal Health, with $4.7 billion, does not sell lavender essential oil. Boehringer Ingelheim cannot patent acetic acid. Natural compounds that cannot be patented are not competition to be defeated. They are a threat to be ignored, and when ignoring is insufficient, to be actively discredited. The mechanism in veterinary medicine followed the same playbook as human pharmaceutical suppression. Every bottle of $38 medicated eardrops, every vet visit for recurring ear odor, each one represents money extracted from your love for your dog, a love that was exploited by a system that had every financial incentive to keep you purchasing. Here it is, the formula that the veterinarians of ancient Egypt applied, that Gervais Markham recorded in 1615, that the farmers of rural France maintained, that the science of 2024 has now confirmed. 2 ingredients, $2. Permanent results. What you need: raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. It must say raw and unfiltered, and you must see the cloudy mother sediment. Bragg's is the most widely available. A 32-ounce bottle costs about $4. Never use distilled white vinegar. Lavender essential oil, pure Lavandula angustifolia, not a lavender fragrance oil or lavender-scented product. A 10 ml bottle of quality pure lavender essential oil costs $5 to $8 and contains hundreds of applications at 2 drops per use. Step 1. Gently fold your dog's ear flap back to expose the ear canal opening. If you see bright red inflammation, open wounds, or pain, stop. Normal malodorous ears show dark waxy buildup, brownish discharge, and mild redness. These respond excellently. Step 2. Warm your dropper bottle slightly. Hold it in your palms for 60 seconds. Cold liquid in the ear canal causes discomfort and head shaking. Room temperature or slightly warm is ideal. Step 3. With your dog calm, ideally lying on their side, apply 8 to 10 drops of the formula directly into the ear canal. You will hear a faint liquid sound as it enters. Step 4. Keeping the ear flap held back, massage the base of the ear, the cartilaginous area where the ear meets the skull. for 30 to 45 seconds. You will hear a soft squelching sound. This step is essential. The formula must reach the full canal. Step 5. Release the ear and step back. Your dog will shake their head vigorously. This is correct. This is how the dislodged debris and formula exit the ear canal naturally. Step 6. Use a cotton ball to gently wipe the visible inner ear surface, only what you can see. Remove the dislodged dark wax and debris. Frequency: apply once daily for the first 7 days, then reduce to twice weekly for 3 weeks, then once weekly as maintenance. Most owners report odor is eliminated within 10 to 14 days. A dog owner named Sandra had been spending $340 annually on prescription drops for her Cocker Spaniel. After discovering this formula, she began the protocol. By day 12, the odor was gone. Sandra has not purchased medicated drops in 14 months. The leading prescription antifungal ear drop, Claro, costs $65 to $90 per treatment. This formula costs under $2. The mechanism of action: functionally parallel. The price difference: over 4,000%. This formula is highly effective for yeast and bacteria, but not for perforated eardrums. It is not a substitute for veterinary assessment of ears showing blood, severe swelling, or neurological symptoms. Use responsibly. Dogs sensitive to essential oils may show mild irritation. If so, discontinue. Start with a more diluted formula, 2 parts water to 1 part ACV, if your dog has particularly sensitive skin. This is responsible use of ancient knowledge. Somewhere in ancient Egypt, a healer knelt beside a working dog. Gervase Markham wrote it down in 1615. Rural farmers maintained it because they could not afford for it to be lost. Their animals' health depended on it. And then an industry was built, and the recording stopped. Your veterinarian, who genuinely loves animals, graduated from a program that never mentioned acetic acid and linalool because there was no profit in mentioning them. Your dog has been suffering from a problem with a $2 solution. Mix the formula tonight, apply it tomorrow. By day 10, lean down close to your dog's ears and breathe in. You will smell 3,000 years of suppressed knowledge finally doing its work. Share this with every dog owner you know, because their dogs deserve the $2 solution, and the industry prayed you'd never find it.